I've got a new experience to talk to you about. So if you watch my Florida vlogs, you'll know that I do a firsts series where I do as many new things as I can while I'm at Walt Disney World. The last time I was at Disneyland Paris, the 25th to the 28th of January, I actually got to do something new there. It's very exciting. I'd heard about pin trading events before, and there's two different types. You've got pin trading days, which are full-on, full-day events, and then you've got pin trading evenings, pin trading nights, and the pin trading nights happen apparently the last Friday of every month. Now, there's very little information about pin trading nights, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video, because I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about it, so if you're thinking about going to one, you've kind of got an idea what it's like. The first thing I have to say as a bit of a disclaimer is, I'm still not 100% sure. So I'm going to talk to you about my experience and how the night went when I was there, but I don't have a really in-depth knowledge of the event. So this is all just from my experience and what I found when I was there. So these events are held in the hotels, and we discovered just before we went that it was going to be held in our hotel, which is brilliant because it means we don't have to trek all the way around the resort to go to these events. And I thought, yeah, sure, why not? It's January, the parks close early, we're there for 4 days, let's do something different, this will be really fun. So we'd heard it was going to be in the hotel bar. Now, knowing how the hotel bar is that small corner of the lobby in the New York, I thought, well, you know, it's maybe going to be a few people with some pin trading books and some lanyards and stuff, and that's pretty much going to be it. The main attraction for me is the limited edition pin trading night pins that you can get, and you can only buy them on the night, and they say pin trading event on them. So we discovered that the way the night works is they sell the limited edition pins and they start selling them at 6 o'clock. They sell them based on coloured wristbands. So during the day, you go along to the room where it's happening and you get your wristband. Now you can do this at any point during the day. We actually went back at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We were planning to get a wristband, go for a swim and stuff, and then go back at 6 o'clock to buy the pins. As it turned out, the bands weren't waterproof, so we couldn't go for a swim. And actually there wasn't really much to do at the event. So we got our bands, and by about 3:10 we were like, let's just go back to the parks. So we went back to the parks until about 5. And then we went to the event for 6. So at any point during the afternoon, you can go along to the location where the event is happening and you can get your wristband. It's not first come, first served. So getting there early doesn't mean you're going to be in the first group of people to actually get to buy the pins. What they do is they give out a number of wristbands, and I don't think it's probably somewhere between 50 and 100 people per colour, I'm not sure, but that looked about the volume of people. So when we were there, they had green, blue, purple, yellow and white. What we didn't realise was actually you don't really need to get there that early, because when we went back at 6 o'clock, they were still giving out wristbands. Now obviously we went really, really low season, so it was quiet. If you're going peak season, you probably do need to go early because they'll probably sell out of wristbands. And the number of wristbands corresponds to the number of sets of pins. So once you've got a wristband, you're guaranteed to get a set of pins. But what it doesn't tell you is at what time in the evening you'll get your band. So at 6 o'clock they announced the first colour. In our case it was green. Anybody with a green wristband, you got to go and line up, and then you got to buy your pins. Once all the people in that colour had bought their pins, they would then call the next colour, and then the next group of people would go up. So it's not a case of, oh, you have to get there early to get the first band to get in the first group of people because they're going to sell out the pins. If you've got a wristband, you're going to get your pins. You just have to sit in the convention centre and wait until your colour is called. So if you're the last colour, you could be waiting a while. So we were in the third group called, and we went up, and at this point we still really didn't know the rules. We thought that you could get 2 pins and that it was 1 pin and you could buy 2 of it. Then it became a little bit more obvious that actually it was a set of pins. So we thought you could get 2 pins out of the set. But actually what it transpires is your wristbands entitles you to 1 full set. You don't actually have to buy the full set if you don't want to. They actually asked me, do you want the full set? So I said yes, but you don't have to. You can just get 1 or 2. In our case, for our night, there was 3 different pins available. They are €15 each, so that might affect your decision around whether you're going to get all 3 or not. If you've only got €15, you might only get 1. You do get annual pass discount on them, so that is something to bear in mind. If you are an annual pass holder, you will get discount on them because it is an official Disney sale. It's an official Disney product being sold by Disney, so you do get your annual pass discount. So by the time our bands were called, we had worked out that you get to buy 1 full set of the set that you want. So we lined up, and we'd seen this woman walking around with like an ice cream, not an ice cream bucket, a sandcastle bucket, and people were taking stuff out of it. Now what it transpires is, as well as getting your 1 full set that you're guaranteed, you can also take up to 2 raffle tickets out of this bucket. They're sequentially numbered, and so you actually want to pull out a lower number ticket. And what that is, say they have 500 sets. If they only sell 300 sets of pins to people with wristbands, once everybody with wristbands has bought what they want, they're going to have 200 sets left. With your raffle ticket, you could then potentially get the chance to buy another set, but it's dependent on whether your raffle ticket number is called out. And it's not a pick the name out of the hat raffle, it is a number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So depending on what sequence you've got, depends. And she said it starts at I think 600, so you have to go back at 7:45, and at 7:45 they will start selling to people who've already bought. Once everyone who wants them has bought, people get a second chance if your number is high enough. That was really confusing. We had no idea what that was at the time. And a really nice cast member, bless her, because we were kind of wandering around and we were looking for people to ask, like, how does this work, what's happening, but there was nobody there to explain it to us. And bless her, the really nice lady at the front of the queue, cast member, who had the bucket, she's like, you look like you don't know what you're doing. And I said, no, I don't know. So she explained, do you want the full set, do you just want 1 pin? I said, well, I want the full set. She said it was a set of 3. I was like, okay. And then she explained about the bucket, about the raffle tickets, and about how that worked. She was really nice. She was very, very good. She was the only person there that explained it to us. Nobody else there really was approachable enough to ask. I actually found it really uncomfortable in the convention centre, walking around, looking at all the different tables with everybody's pins. I still don't know how that works, whether people can trade or not, or whether people can sell or not. I don't think they're allowed to sell, but I did see money changing hands a bit kind of under the table. So I'm still not clear on how the whole people sat with their pins around the tables works. If anybody knows, comment below, let me know how it works, because I haven't got a clue. But as I wasn't there to trade, it didn't really matter. But I did find it was quite a not niche, but basically everybody who was there who knew what they were doing, and they didn't feel like there should be outsiders there, and it certainly wasn't their place to help outsiders understand what was going on. I think it was kind of like, this is our thing, you can be here because anybody can be here, but we don't have to like you being here type thing. It was a bit standoffish. So would I go to another one again? Probably only if I was there in low season again. I probably wouldn't bother in peak season because the stress of going back, getting the wristband and then going back and waiting for it, it's quite time consuming. So I probably wouldn't bother. It took us about an hour. By the time they started selling at 6 and we'd got our bands and got our pins and got out, it was about 7 o'clock. So it did take about an hour, and we were just sat on the floor in the convention hall from that point, from 6 o'clock onwards, just waiting for them to call our colour out. But I'm glad I did it, because now I know what pin trading events are like. I know how it works. I got 3 brilliant pins out of it. I'm really happy with my pins. The Disgust one is incredible. I love it. And the other 2 are really sweet as well. So yeah, I'm glad I did it, but it would have to be quiet season again for me to go, I think, to another one. Another thing I should mention is they don't tell you what the pins are. Even as they're selling them to you, they keep them face down, they scan them, and then they put them in the bag, and they put the receipt in the bag so you can't see what you've bought until you've literally walked away. So you walk away and then you look at them, and actually it was very secretive. Even when we were in there, people weren't shouting about what it was. There was still a kind of an unspoken rule that you don't actually tell everybody what it is. You let them find out for themselves, which I liked that element. That was quite nice. That was one of the things I did like about it. But yeah, that is my experience of a pin trading event. So hopefully if you're thinking about going to one, that does kind of help. If you are just like a happy trader and you just want to go in and trade pins with people, it's probably not the place to go. Especially if you've got kids and stuff and your kids just like exchanging just any old pin that they like the look of, rather than going for the value and the sort of collector's editions. Probably not for you. But if you are an avid pin collector and you do trade and there are pins you are on the lookout for, then I would recommend going, because it's probably the place for you. And if you're braver than I am, and you're happy approaching people, then go and ask them how it all works in terms of trading and stuff. We were just a little bit too timid to do that. We just felt a little bit too uncomfortable in that situation. So yeah, hopefully that helps. And if you've got any questions, if it's not clear, then let me know below. And if you have any more information that I've missed out, please do comment below, because I would be fascinated to know actually how the whole event works with all of the actual like professional, whatever they are, pin traders. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you again soon.